Mm, 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 mm. What's up, Joe? Oh boy, man, man. I hate to be the one to cover this story, bro. I ain't gonna tell y'all guys no lie. Yeah, that's right. Another day, man. Another day in America. Another day, but you can say that again. Definitely hate to be the one to cover this story, though. Yeah, I feel blessed, man. I definitely feel blessed. I feel blessed, man. Trying to get some stuff situated today. That's why I got my Cash App pen. Yep. That's why I got my Cash App pen. Let's get this video shared and get some more peoples in. Yep. Man. YouTube. What it do, and what it don't do, man. It's your boy Self-Conscious, and I'm tapping in with another live stream unfortunate video, bro. Y'all get the likes up, man. This is one of those sad, tragical type stories coming out of my hometown, my state, Atlanta, Georgia. I felt the need to address it, and something was telling me not to address it, but I gotta talk about this one, man. This is just an awful situation. This situation. We gonna get to the Epstein files, though. Man. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I mean, I'm justified. I'm justified for everything that I say and talk about, and this story right here is definitely finna become my ultimate justification based on what I talk about and what I speak on. Because a lot of people say, you know what I mean, I'm always talking down on black people, my culture, my race, and uplifting, you know, the white man, the one, you know, they say the opposition, the racists, and all of this and that, right? But we're not going to really get into that because this video right here is from the pretty much, like I said, solidify, you know what I'm saying, the things that I identify, the things that I point out, the things that I see, and the things that people need to, like, learn how to ultimately, you know what I'm saying, embrace for what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no need to sit here and be in denial about a problem that you can you can identify with. I mean, it's right here, right before our eyes. And like I said, man, this is a sad story coming out of the state of Atlanta, Georgia, man. And when I tell you it's a sad story, it's a sad story. Anytime a kid is involved in a crime, a kid then lost their life because of an individual want to make a bad choice or decision, it's always sad and it's always hurtful, man. So I want to send my condolences out to the family. You know what I'm saying? Other little 8-year-old girl, Miss Turner, that lost her life, bro. Like, it was just another one of those days where somebody decided to come out, step out, and do some dumb shit. And now you get yourself up in the courtroom and you want to play the innocent role. Like, hey, I didn't do that to me. They lying on me. They planted this and they planted that. When there is evidence, genuine material facts, from my understanding, that's putting this man at the scene of the crime, man. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, a lot of times, you know, we do things, and when we do those things, when the consequences come and hit us, you know what I'm saying, we can't deal with it. We try to find a way to navigate, try to find a way to get away, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. That's right, Joe. So let me tell y'all something, right? So this brother, right? And like I say, you know, God knows best. You know, whatever God got planned for this man, you know, that's what God got planned. But Julian Connley, right? Let me tell y'all something. He's the same gentleman, right? When an Atlanta police officer, a few of them, killed a black man, right? Listen, y'all hear me out. Hear me out. Because this is sort of like this George Floyd situation, right? Just hear me out, right? I'm going to justify something this morning, right? You know what I'm saying? Justification is in full effect. Justification is in full effect. I hate to be the one to do it and say it, but I got to, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, this is the harsh reality of things, man. People just need to be able to accept shit for what it is and stop trying to use fucking history or whatever to justify the stuff that they do, that we do to each other. We can't do that, bro. But anyway, this guy Julian, from my understanding, was out protesting, making a big scene and a big situation when this brother, was murdered by these police officers in Atlanta, these white police officers. He was out there protesting, rallying the peoples up, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter. Y'all know the slogan. Y'all know the drill. You know how shit go. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, we are now talking about the same guy. Months later, hops in a car, rides around the city of Atlanta, right? Looking for his target. Riding around the city of Atlanta, looking for his target. Pull up at a fast food joint. Jump out. Spraying stuff up. I'm talking about just spraying shit up. 8-year-old girl. Sikoria Turner in the car. Lost her life just like that. Just like that. Just like that. In the blink of an eye. Gone. Over with. Tell y'all something, right? We talking about somebody that was defending or standing up and protesting. Pro-black this and pro-black that. Black Lives Matter. The same guy turns around and ends the life of an 8-year-old black girl. Now, I'm going to share something with y'all, right? One of the biggest reasons why I say the things that I say, right? Because it comes back to this. We are only black when it's convenient. I keep telling y'all that shit, bro. I keep telling y'all that. We are only black when it's convenient, bro. George Floyd situation, you had folks all over you had people all over the country. You even had white folk. You even had white folks and Hispanics out there fighting with black people when George Floyd got killed. Man, it was crazy out there in Minnesota. It was ridiculous. Man, you had folks all over the place. I'm talking about destroying buildings, business locations of business. I'm talking about setting shit on fire. I'm talking about CVS, jewelry stores, grocery store. Man, it was chaos out there in Minnesota when George Floyd was killed by that police officer, right? He was, all of that. But now, think about something. Shortly after the George Floyd situation, not even a month later, what happened? Huh? What happened? Back to doing what we're doing best. Killing each other. That's just the first incident. This incident right here with this young 8-year-old kid is different, right? Because you got to think about it. She didn't even get a chance to grow up and experience what life would have been like for her, bro. Her life was just cut short. Just like that. From this bullet from this barrel, cut this little girl life short just like that. And now we in court trying to justify the lawyers that's representing this brother in there trying to justify, trying to defend and get this man up out of this shit. Tell y'all something. You right. A lawyer get paid. They get hired to represent, right? But let me tell you something, right? And this, I'm speaking for me. Can't no criminal, if I was an attorney, can't no criminal hire me in a case like that. I'm going to sell you out every time. When it's involving kids, I'm going to sell you out every time. Elderly people, I'm going to sell you out every time. I'm just being honest. Because it's senseless, bro. And that's what I talk about all the time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't be paying attention, man. Black on black violence, bro, it has to end at some point. We gotta stop taking each other out. We gotta stop blaming the white man for everything, but never take responsibility for the things that we do, bro. That's all I'm saying. I'm just a messenger, right? Somebody gotta do what I'm doing. Somebody gotta have enough heart and enough courage to say, look at here. We not gonna keep pointing at them white folk now. You can't keep doing that. Because every time you point at them white folks, you point back at yourself, bro. And that's what it is. It starts with self. We see the problem. We know what the problem is. We definitely know what the problem is. We just not striving to become the solution. Because we are enjoying, and we so adept and so accustomed to playing this blame game, right? Blaming the white folk for everything, to where as though we can't see the bigger picture. It's like we just entrapped in a trance or something. Like, think about it. We talking about 8 years old, bro. This little girl was 8 years old. Tell me, what kind of life did she have the opportunity to live? Her life was stolen. It was cut short at the blink of an eye. So make no mistakes about it. I'm not here to judge nobody. Of course not. But man, let me tell you something. One thing in prison you're not going to get away with. That's messing with kids and them elderly people. You're not going to get away with it. There are consequences behind that. Especially them kids. Cause you molesters and you tree jumpers and your bunny hoppers. You go to prison, mess with them children, your ass hit. Old elderly people, your ass hit. That's just the bottom line. And and it should be like that. Because as I sat back and I was paying attention to this story, right? And still to this day, I'm going to say this right here, right? Still to this day, I'm not here to convict Julian Connley. Because guess what? Do I really know he was the trigger man? No. Evidence is pointing and weighing towards Julian Connley as being the shooter. But do I personally know? I don't. But I'm speaking about the story, and I'm addressing this story, right? Because there are other incidents out there and instances just like the one we're talking about now, where you do have people that's actually out there doing shit like that. Running to say, hey, you killed a black man. You took that black man out. That black man was not resisting. He wasn't doing this and he wasn't doing that. And then 2 months later, yo, gangster nigga, blah, 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 blah. You can't do that, bro. You can't stand for something or represent something and turn around and act in contrary to that you say you stand for. You can't do that shit, bro. You can't straddle a fence like that. So we talking about defining today's society and today's black community. That's what and I'm gonna tell you something before I go any further, right? Make no mistakes about it. Make no mistakes about it. Make no mistakes about it, buddy. Right? I can't find it. Right? Yes, I can. I'm gonna have it for my next video. I got my microphone. I'm gonna use my mic for my next video. But anyway, moving on, right? We don't want to get caught up, right? Let me tell y'all something. It hurts when you have your own kind imitating a characteristic or playing this role. I'm talking about a role that's almost bigger than life itself. And you buying into it. Like you are literally buying into this role. And you sitting back and you saying to yourself, I can identify with X, Y, and Z. I can identify with it right now, right? However, what I can't identify is like, where's the compassion at? Where's the heart? Where's the love? Where's the trust? Where's the honesty? Like, do any of this shit exist within people, within mankind, in our black community, within our society? Like, these are questions that needs to be asked and answered, right? These are questions that needs to be asked and answered. Because when you look at today's society, you don't see what I just made mention of. You don't see love. You don't see peace. You don't see happiness. You don't see compassion. You see more chaos. You see more confusion. You see more confliction. You see people more at war within themselves more than they are with towards others. So my thing is that we got to come to a head. We got to come to a conclusion. What or how do you expect for your life to turn out or your kids' life to turn out if your ways and action does not reflect anything that revolves around positivity, right? Because see, when you're dealing with a positive and a negative element, one can't live without the other. Like I said, that's a magnetic of attraction, bro. One cannot live without the other. There's always a good side and a bad side that we have to pick and choose, right? So while we playing the blame game, we need to be playing the pick and choose game. What, like, me for a prime example, I have a kid, right? And I know and understand, you know what I'm saying, my ways and actions is going to become ultimately a reflection of how my kid come up in life, right? So if I'm carrying myself in an abnormal way, in an ignorant way, in a negative way, and if my child is just sitting there watching all of this, you know what I'm saying, at some point they're going to grow up and become to imitate the characteristics that they have saw displayed before their eyes. And we can't blame nobody but ourselves. So when these kids leave home, you know what I'm saying, they leave because within inside they feel unloved and wanted. So they turn to the streets, hoping that the streets can fill those open voids within them. And they are too young and not conscious and aware of the fact of knowing that the streets only have two things to offer. One is death and the other is jail. So don't nobody win. What I'm saying is this: don't nobody win in a situation as such that we are addressing now. Because guess what? That little girl, she lost her life was stolen from her. Julian, his life was taken because he was ultimately sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Killed two birds with one stone, right? They spared his life. They spared his life for a reason, right? Not because, oh, that was an 8-year-old girl or whatever. They can really care. They can care less about that. They spared his life for one reason, because again, this is just how the judicial system get down. They enjoy making an example out of people. So they want this man to suffer now. He gonna suffer, right? They know what time it is. They gonna make sure they send him to the right facility, right? Where people that don't tolerate people doing shit and towards kids, they know what's gonna happen when he get there. So they didn't have to sentence him to death, because they know the inmates are gonna sentence him to death. They are going to impose their will on him upon his arrival, because staff member, right, correctional officers, the one that's supposed to serve and protect, those are the ones that's going to expose him to general population. They are the ones that's going to in fact tell population, hey, he just killed an 8-year-old girl. And it's over with. They're going to turn their backs and justice going to be served on him. And I hate to say it like that, bro, but it goes back to what I said at the beginning of my video. That's just the harsh part of reality, bro. You got to keep it 100. I ain't no need to sit here and procrastinate. I ain't no need to sit here and sugarcoat. Make it sound like it's gonna be all grits and gravy for him behind them walls, because it's not. It's not gonna be a easy, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. And if he ain't got no heart, they gonna take him out first quarter. Yeah. If he ain't got no heart, he gone first quarter. He ain't even gonna make it to halftime. But if he got a little bit of heart, if he's a manipulator, if he got any type of leadership with him, or if he a part of something or what, he may survive. That's a mate and a big might with a capital M-I-G-H-T. I'm just a messenger. But I don't need anybody telling me, you talking about your people, man. You be putting your people down too much. I don't need nobody coming on my live stream saying anything like that. Why? Look at the story we covering right now. This is serious, bro. This is not a game. What you think, this a game? This ain't no game, bro. It's time to elevate. It's time to accept that you create or created. That's what it's time to do, right? And so I sat back and I think about all the trials and the tribulations, all the conflictions, and all of the arrows and the mistakes and all this good stuff, right? And it takes me all the way back for whatever reasons. And I want y'all to pay close attention to what I'm saying, bro. It always take me back to one incident that happened in the early 90s. And I don't know why my mind keeps drifting back to the early 90s. But when I think about the Rodney King case, do y'all remember that? Rodney King, Los Angeles, California, LA, the one that was beaten badly by police officers, not just white ones, but black ones too. You had black people that got in on the beating too. They beat Rodney King. I'm talking about beating. That was a riot. Now that's what you call a riot. See, that what George Floyd out of Minnesota didn't come nowhere close to comparing to how they got down out there in LA behind Rodney King. Yeah, that was a riot. History repeats itself, right? For whatever reasons, history has a funny way of repeating itself, right? So we talking about early 90s with the Rodney King situation, right? Fast forward, all these black men that's been killed by police officers, Sean Bell in New York, and shooting them up 33 times because the man had a wallet in his hand. They said it was a gun. Think about that. The only situation from a police brutality standpoint of view that come close to Rodney King is not George Floyd. Y'all remember the kid out there in Memphis, Tennessee? Huh? Do y'all remember the most recent incident out there in Memphis, Tennessee? When that boy was beaten like that by all black officers, all black police officers. Beat him, stomped him, kicked him. They did everything under the sun. Tuck him out, right? Let me tell y'all something. I don't want to hear nobody talking about no fucking police brutality by the hands of white people. You got black folks doing the same shit. You have black officers doing the same thing. What exempts a black police officer from assaulting or beating someone and not a white? I'm just saying, make it make sense. Let's balance this thing out, right? Let's give the world, let's make some sense for the world, right? Help make me understand the differences between that. Why will I exempt a black man from doing the same shit that y'all say the white man do? It don't add up. It don't add up. It's racism. Racism don't exist to the extent that people still think it exists. Is it still here? Does racism dwells in a lot of people? Absolutely. And it's not just white folks. You got black peoples out here racist, Hispanics out here racist. But listen, every incident between a white person and a black person is not always racist, bro. See what I'm saying? So it's like, it's psychological. Now, it's like as soon as you hear something that happened with a black man, the first thing come to mind, oh, he was racist. Oh, they was racist. They was this and they was that. Listen, bro, get that shit out your mind. Focus on this case out here in Atlanta with this 8-year-old girl that lost her life on a BS humbug. Think about that right there. Was that racist? Huh? Was that racist? Yes or no? If that was racist, type the number 1 in the chat. If it wasn't racist, type the number 2. Field check. Field check. This field check. I want to know what y'all think. I want to know what y'all rate. So here's the thing about it, right? When you talking about representing for not just your community, but other communities, your representation have to be on point, bro. You have to be damn near a wizard with this. You got to be like a wizard. You have to have these keen thoughts, right? You got to be able to know how to adjust within whatever situation it may be. Take that situation, if it's a negative, and turn it into a positive. You have to have the ability. You have to have the capability. You have to have the level of expertise, which is skill set, to be able to pull all of that off. Defenses win games, not offenses. Defenses win games. You can score all day, but if you can't stop the opposing team from scoring, you can't win. Listen, guys, it's getting real in our communities, bro. It's getting real. A lot of these kids out here don't have father figures in their lives. They don't have role models. They don't have anybody to help direct them into the right direction. We got to play that role, bro. And I always tell people, whether it's your kid or not, it doesn't really matter if it's your kid or not. If you can stir a child or a kid into the right direction, do it. If you can allow your story or your testimony to help reshape and define their lives and turn their lives around, do it. Don't just sit there and say, well, hey, shit, that ain't my son, that ain't my daughter, I don't care. That's the wrong attitude to have. That is ultimately the wrong attitude to have. And so this brother that just did this, from my understanding, to this 8-year-old girl in Atlanta, if he done it, he haven't even got what he deserves yet. He haven't. No. He haven't received near what he deserved. I'm just a messenger. Now I can sit here and go on and on and on and on and on. But what sense will it make? What sense will it make? Let me get this video shared. I got to get some more people in. Yeah, because we haven't even scratched surface with this story yet. No, I haven't even scratched. Cause see, I got proof, right? Y'all know me. I like to show evidence and video proof. I don't want to just sit here and feel like I'm just talking and there's no evidence to justify what I'm saying and all of this stuff here, man. Hold up for 1 second. And while we at it, I need y'all to type hashtag RIPCK in the chat, man. We still celebrating Charlie Kirk, bro. We still keeping the legacy alive. So without further ado, hashtag RIPCK in the chat, bro. Yeah. We ain't forgetting about Charlie. We're not going to forget about Charlie Kirk. I promise you that. If I got to do it myself, I do it. It don't matter. If I got to do it my daggone self. All right, so here's the case, man. Here's the situation. Right? Here's the situation. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. And before I do this, guys, I want y'all to know something, right? I'm not trying to throw shade or nothing like that, man, but this is just, man, this is uncalled for, bro. This is like literally uncalled for. Hold on for a minute, guys. Let me get this thing right. Let me get this thing right. Right now at 6, we are on verdict. Okay, here we go. Decide the fate of Julian Connley. He's a man accused of killing girl Sequoia Turner back in 2020. 11 Allies Marissa Sarbach joins us live from outside the Fulton County Courthouse. So, Marissa, how long have the jurors been deliberating now?
Ron, so far the jury has been deliberating for 2 hours, and they certainly have a lot to consider. There are 20 charges in this case. Earlier today, they heard closing arguments from the defense and the prosecution. Now, the defense actually asked the judge to grant a mistrial in this case during the final 10 minutes of the prosecution's closing arguments over a newly introduced video explaining the state's theory. The judge denied that motion. The state is accusing Julian Connley of deliberately shooting and killing Sequoia Turner in July 2020. She was in drove through the intersection of University Park during the height protest was killed by Atlanta police in that same area. In closing arguments, the defense hammered home their argument that the police weren't policing the area, so community members took it into their own hands. The prosecution doubling down on their argument, accusing Julian Connley of pulling the trigger.
There's an elephant in the room. The city of Atlanta abandoned them. The city of Atlanta said, y'all good over there.
And the police had no other choice but to come. So don't make them think it's the police fault that he decided to pick up an AR-15 and shoot and kill an 8-year-old little girl. It's not the police's fault. It's Julian Connley's fault.
And the jury now has a very difficult night ahead of them. They have to figure out whether or not Julian Connley committed these crimes, quote, beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the burden of proof in this case. Ron?
Absolutely, Marissa. So I know we're going to hear from you again in our new streaming show at 6:30 on 11 Alive Plus. So what can we expect in the next half hour?
Well, Ron, we're be here on verdict watch outside Fulton County Court, waiting to see if the jury does come back with a verdict at this point. And we'll also have new testimony and new information from those closing arguments. The color of what Julian Connley was wearing that night seems to be a point of contention. Both the defense and prosecution arguing he was wearing red that night, but the defense says this proves his innocence. The prosecution says this proves his guilt. We'll have much more on that coming up at 6:30 in the streaming show.
Hold up. Y'all didn't hear this. I'm gonna make it where you can hear it. I'm finna make it where you can hear it. Hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second. I want to make sure you can hear it.
By displaying a lighter, pre-rendered version of your pages rather than generating a new one each.
Tonight, the family of 8-year-old Sequoia Turner says they can finally breathe after a jury handed down a guilty verdict in the case of their daughter's now convicted killer. Sequoia was killed during protests for Rashad Brooks in July of 2020 when bullets were fired into the car she and her mother were riding in. 5 years later, Julian Connley has been found guilty on all murder counts and some gang charges. 11 Alive's Angelina Salcido is live outside of the Fulton County Courthouse tonight where that verdict and sentence were handed down. Angelina, both families say they lost in this situation.
Yeah, it was an emotional day in court, Jennifer, for both of these families. They have waited for this day for years. Sequoia's family had to relive the day that she was killed for the last 2 weeks. Connley's, on the other hand, says that they are disappointed with this verdict and the sentencing in this case, saying more people need to be held accountable.
We got the justice that we need for our innocent child. And I appreciate all they have done to get to the bottom of it and the truth.
Overwhelmed with emotion,
Win, lose, or draw, I wasn't gonna never stop fighting.
Sequoia Turner's parents react after 5 years waiting for their 8-year-old daughter's killer to be convicted.
Listen at this.
My baby loved life, she loved her family. She was always happy.
Dobbing. Immediately, Connley was taken into custody and handcuffed as the rest of the charges were read. Julian Connley was found guilty on counts of murder with malice, felony murder, and aggravated assault. He was found not guilty on some of the gang-related charges. We spoke with Sequoia Turner's mom and dad outside court after that verdict was read today.
Justice was served, and I appreciate all they have done to get to the bottom of it and the truth. And I appreciate the judge for her sentence, because you shouldn't be light on him. He wasn't light on my child. He never showed no remorse. He really didn't even care.
We also spoke with Julian Connley's mother outside court after the verdict and the sentencing. Of course, a very difficult day for her as well, although she maintains her son's innocence, and so does his defense attorney. They say they will be appealing the decision in this case. Reporting live outside Fulton County Court, Marissa Sarbach, 11 Alive News.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much. And we'll have much more from Marissa tonight at 6:30 only on 11 Alive Plus.
Only thing for you, I say.
Let me tell y'all something, man. The most scariest and the most fearless person in life is the one that's in denial of a crime that they know they committed, right? And like I said, I don't know you know, based on what I've seen and what I've read, it's just too much evidence. I'm talking about genuine material facts that's placing this AR-15 in this man's hand, bro. So at the end of the day, we talking about an 8-year-old kid that lost her life for whatever reasons. You know, we don't know what was going through this man's mind or what was he thinking at the time or whatever. We just know what happened to this kid, right? And it goes back to what I always say, right? Let me tell you something. I love when I can justify the shit I talk about. I just love it. I mean, it ain't no need for me to say here. It's no need for me to say here and fall and play into this blame game thing that a lot of y'all want me to do, or a lot of y'all out there doing yourselves. I mean, come on, bro. A person, I can't put a gun in your hand and make you do something. You know what I'm saying? You have the choice to make that decision. You know, do you want your life to be cut short for doing whatever? You see what I'm saying? Like, people got to understand, bro. We are all given choices in life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Some of us choose to go in the wrong direction. And like I said, the consequences become too great to bear or handle. But my grandma used to always tell me, if you make the bed hard, you got to lay in that motherfucker, bro. Yeah. If you make that bed hard, you got to lay in it. That's on you, baby. You can't blame nobody else for your ways and actions. You can't blame someone else for something that you chose or you decided to do. You know what I'm saying? Just be man enough, you know what I'm saying, to accept that. That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a messenger. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, like I said, you know, some people choose to just throw their life away. And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? If this is what you want to do, if you don't want to place yourself in position or try to redefine who you are, you know what I'm saying, to upgrade your life, you know what I'm saying, to do away with some of the old things and come in with some new things, and that's on you. I'm not going to sit here and say the system was wrong for imposing whatever sentence they imposed on him. Like this guy we talking about now. I'm not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, like I said, you have to be held accountable for your ways and actions. That's life, bro. You just can't expect to inflict harm or impose harm on someone and then turn around and think that these folks gonna give you a pass in life. That shit don't work like that. It don't. You reap what you sow, bro. You reap what you sow. That's in the Bible. The Bible tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, you do dirt, you get dirt. What goes around comes around. It's like a revolving door, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing new up under the sun. And like I said, to me, this is one of those tragical stories, man. One of these events that can be talked about for decades to come. Like, because this is all about spreading awareness. You feel me? You got to spread awareness. You see, my thing is this here. Stories like this can save the lives of many other people, right? Unfortunately, sometimes a lot of us, we find ourselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Some things happen that's non-preventable or unpreventable. But if I got a gun in my hand, this type of weapon in my hand, and I'm seeing people's in this car, if I'm shooting into the direction or within the direction of this vehicle, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to strike somebody. I already know this. I'm going to hit somebody, right? Let me tell you something. Sometimes the intended target, sometimes you have to take that gun, bro, and turn it the opposite direction. And what I mean about that, I'm not saying take the gun and turn it and fire to some other direction. Just put it down, bro. It's not worth it. It's not worth throwing your life away. I tell people that all the time, bro. And to be honest with you, I don't have nothing against gang members. I don't, right? Because all of them are not banging for the same thing. You know, a lot of these gang bangers out here, man, they ain't violent like people think. They actually doing good things in the community, especially the ones that used to be in gangs. They using their voices now to disturb other kids from joining gangs and for other people to leave gangs. But what I'm saying is this right here. My biggest thing is me defending my character and justifying the things that I talk about on my platform when I speak about black people. Because folks always coming in my chat saying something about I'm selling out. Oh, he's a bootlicker. He's a Johnny this or Johnny that. Listen, guys, this story that I'm covering right now justifies everything that I say, bro. We only black when it's convenient, bro. That's it. Now, if that was a white man that done that to that 8-year-old girl, man, Atlanta, man, they'll probably be in the process of rebuilding Atlanta up right now. Yeah, we'll be in the process of rebuilding our city up right now. Destroyed buildings, setting stuff on fire, and all of this. If it was a white person, y'all know that, right? I'm just saying that. Keep it 100. But due to the fact that it's black on black violence, you don't even hear a lot of people talking about it, and they ain't. Because it's black on black violence. It's like, okay, this is the norm. Black people hurting black people. Oh, well, this is nothing new. Fuck it. Carry on. Let's keep moving on. But a white man, oh, they racist. That racist white man, he killed that black girl. He did this and he did that, and now you going crazy. Oh, no, we ain't gonna sit here and take that. We ain't going for that. Yeah, you're right, Johnny. I am all over the place. You want me to tell you why I'm all over the place? Because this black on black violence is all over the place. It's not just happening here in the South. It's happening in the North, the East, and the West. That's all over the place, right? You got that part? Did I just educate you on something? Did you comprehend what I just said? Violence is all over the place. It's not just happening in one place. It's happening everywhere. So we got to talk about it everywhere. Did that make any sense to you? Okay. I was just checking, man. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to contest your level of education or none of that. I just wanted to make sure that you understand that violence is versatile. It's versatile. It's not just happening in one part of the world. It's happening everywhere. You know, even different countries. You feel me? That made any sense to you? Yeah. I appreciate that. Anyway, back to what I was saying, right? So if it like this is what I want people to know, right? And there is no obligations for anyone to accept what I'm about to say, right? Quite obviously everybody, have their own, opinion or, how they feel about whatever. But what I will ultimately say is this right here. I've came to a conclusion, right? Right? We definitely know the problem. We done already identified with the problem, right? We definitely done that, right? Right now, I want to talk more about the solution of the problem, right? So, and the solution is this right here. Before I end this live stream, right? And I have a knack at doing what I'm about to do or say what I'm about to say. I don't know, man. It's just one of those, it's not weird. It's just, I don't know. It's just me trying to, I guess, like, sometimes you can overpaint a picture, but in some cases, in some instances, you want to do that. And with that being said, I'll say this right here. Do we think, or do you think, I'm going to say it like that. Do you think that maybe perhaps one day, whether it's soon or a tad bit later, do we ever think, or do you ever think you will see an end to black on black violence? I'm just asking out of curiosity. I'm just asking, right? And I know that may be a weird question, right? But sometimes the questions that we should ask, we don't ask. Because deep down inside, it's like, man, that shit don't make no damn sense. You know damn well black on black violence ain't gonna end, man. It's just, and that's true. That's how I feel right now, right? But at the end of the day, right, you got to always think, man, our kids, our youth, they are the future for tomorrow. That's number one. Number two, we are nothing without the kids. Nothing. We are nothing without these kids. So why are we not embracing them? Huh? Why are we not cherishing them? Why are we not striving to direct them into the right direction? Keep them on the right path. Why are we not doing any of that? Why? That's the question. But the reality of that question, it's going to be hard to get the right answer. That's your word for the day.